I have gotten a bunch of requests out there for what do firemen carry in their gear on a day-to-day basis. So in this video, I want to go over what I personally carry in my bunker gear, but also, as we all know, firemen throughout the day will have to make uniform changes. You'll have to get in your bunker gear and then you'll go back to your station wear. Where I work, we do a lot of EMS, so I carry certain things in my day-to-day my station wear, that are a little bit different, and I carry a little bit more in my bunker gear. So we're going to be going over all of those things. Before I get into that, I want to make it very clear, this video is not sponsored by anybody. I don't represent any company. I'm not here to dog on any other company, and just because I use it and I like it doesn't mean whatever you use or whatever you like or however you like to set your stuff up is wrong or bad. This is just one man's opinion and things that I've found that I like. So everything I'm going to talk about in this video of things that I carry on myself are things that I've found that work well. I've tried a whole bunch of different stuff, and maybe they'll work well for you. The other thing is, this is a very personal thing. Everybody has their things set up slightly differently. I'm more of a minimalist type. I don't like to carry a ton of stuff on myself. I like to be, I don't know, it just takes up too much space. I don't like feeling trapped or constrained. So other people carry a ton of stuff, especially on their turnout gear. It's not really my style, but it might work for you. Other than that, if you find this helpful, click the like button, share it, subscribe to the channel. The links for all the things that I'm going to be talking about will be in the description below if that's something that you're interested in. So let's get started. I'll start with my bunker gear, and I'm going to try and start from the head and work my way down of just different gear that I carry. So the first thing I'm going to bring up is my helmet light. If you can't see it here, this is the Streamlight Vantage 2. Now, at first, I wasn't really a big fan of these. I didn't really see the need for these, but I love this thing. It's been on my gear for, I don't know, a long time now. A year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe a year. I don't remember exactly. Sorry if I left it on my helmet. I couldn't find the Allen wrench to get it off of there. So, but I think it's great. It's helped me a lot. Obviously, lighting is important in a fire scene. So had no issues with the batteries. I've dropped it. I've smashed it. No issues. It continues to work. Streamlight has made very good products. All the Streamlight products that I've ever used have been really well made, and I've never had an issue with it. So I highly recommend that you get a helmet light. If you don't have one, I use it all the time. Next thing that I carry on my person in my bunker gear is my hood. Now that kind of goes without saying. Obviously you need a hood. But the one thing I want to bring up is I highly recommend that you always carry a backup hood. I carry 2 hoods on my person. One, I stick in my boots so that when I need to change into my turnout gear, I just take it out, throw it over my head, go from there. But I always keep a backup one in one of my pockets. Now, other guys like to do things where they'll stick their set of backup stuff in a bag so they don't carry it on their person. I don't carry a ton of stuff, so I'm okay with keeping this in my pocket. This has come in handy, especially on hot days when you're sweating and you come out and this is soaked, and then you have to go back in and do more work. Just change your hood really quick. There's also been several times where I've been in a rush and maybe my hood fell out of my boot, or I was just running around to go do stuff. Having a backup hood is really important, so make sure you always carry 2 hoods. I would recommend that. Next piece of equipment that's always on my person is my actual flashlight. Now this hooks up. I didn't bring my bunker gear with me. Obviously, I don't want to bring that into my house. But this always stays attached to my gear right here. This too is a Streamlight Survivor light. This thing has been awesome. This thing has been really useful. I forget to charge it all the time, and I've never run out of battery. So I couldn't highly recommend this more. This is the only one I've ever used on all my bunker gear. I had their older style before, which had a little bit of a bigger light here at the end, and that worked great too. So there's that. Next is backup set of safety glasses. I don't know if you can see, but these have taken a beating. They're all kind of scratched up and beat up. Most helmets have the little visor on them. Don't trust it. You get a set of cheap safety glasses. They don't have to be really expensive, really crazy. These are probably $1 or $2. I don't know. Go to Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, Amazon, and make sure you always have an extra set of that on you. Right now, with everything going on, we're required to wear N95s when we are out and about interacting with the public, but it's also just a good idea in general. I can't tell you how many car accidents I've been on, or just random things where you think you're showing up to a rescue or a fire scene and somebody's injured or somebody's throwing up or it's messy. Just throw an extra mask. It doesn't even have to be an N95, just throw an extra surgical mask in there. I make sure I always have something like this in my gear in a pocket. Next is rubber gloves. I can't tell you, again, how many times I've shown up on a car accident or something that I didn't think was going to be messy. And sure enough, there's a patient that is bleeding all over the place, or there's some sort of other whatever going on, and you're going to wish that you had some gloves. Just grab a handful of gloves, keep them in your pocket. They'll wear out over time, so every few months, just throw them out if you don't use them and throw some more in there. But make sure you always have rubber gloves on you. Speaking of gloves, I carry 2 sets of gloves on my person as well. Like I said, a lot of people like to put stuff in a bag and carry a bag and bring it with them. I keep them on my person. Here's my main set of gloves with a glove strap. I love this glove strap. When I first started, I thought they were dumb. I didn't want to use one, and then I started using it just to try it out. I love this thing. I hate having really puffy pockets that stick out that are full of stuff. So having a glove strap that you take on and off, they're really cheap. They're easy. They just hook onto your gear. And then you put your gloves in there and wrap them up. Now these are really good gloves. I believe these are made by Honeywell. Yeah, these are made by Honeywell. But I also keep a backup set of gloves in my coat pockets. The reason being is if you're ever in a fire and you have to take your glove off, God forbid, for some reason to fix something or do something, and you drop it and you lose it, you want to have another one on your person that you can pull out. Put my right glove in my right pocket, my left glove in my left pocket, keep it in my jacket pocket so it's easy and accessible no matter what. And in case, God forbid, for some reason, let's say you're going out the door and you forget your gloves or something like that, you got a backup set in your pocket and you won't be without. So always carry 2 gloves, always carry 2 hoods. That's what I would recommend to you. What else do I have? Wooden chocks for doors. These have a million uses, a million purposes. You can buy plastic aftermarket ones. I'll put some in the description below. But these work just as well. They're cheap. If you lose them, if you forget them somewhere, if they get destroyed or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just find a 2x4 or whatever and just start cutting some triangles. I've used these if we need to get into a house, for a garage door, we've used them for that. Used them for doors. There's a million uses. Just make sure you always carry 1 or 2 on your person. Next, webbing. Webbing is a firefighter's best friend. It also has a million uses. Now, I've seen some people that just carry a ton of webbing. I don't carry that much. This is maybe, I don't know, I have it knotted at the end, so my guess is probably 8 feet, but I roll it up normally. Mine's rolled up tight. Some people put it in a daisy chain, whatever you want to do. But yeah, this has come in handy a bunch of times for just holding things open, tying things off, securing things. I recommend you get some webbing and understand the basics of tying knots. This thing, which is like a multi-tool for, it acts as a spanner wrench, it acts as a wedge, it's got a seat belt cutter on it. This is made by Task Force Tips. I know they make a lot of nozzles and things like that. This was issued to me when I first started. I've used it a couple times. There is a window punch right here. I don't really use it that often, to be honest, just because if I need a spanner wrench, I just get one off the engine. But could be useful. I just keep it in my pocket just in case. You never know. So this is something that comes in handy as well. Wire cutters. If you ever get entangled, this will help you get out of it. This is just a basic tool I think every firefighter should carry. Helps you cut through some things. That's really it. I don't carry a bunch of screwdrivers. I don't carry a bunch of different other things. I do carry a multi-tool, which when I got sat down and got all my stuff laid out and got ready to start the video, I realized that I left it at the station and I don't want to drive all the way back to the station to get my multi-tool. But that is one tool that I would recommend that you spend some money on. If you buy a good multi-tool, it will literally last you a lifetime. I have the Leatherman Wave multi-tool. I'll put the link below. But that thing has lasted me forever. It's got a million uses. I can't tell you how many times I've used it. I wish I had it with me. I would show it to you guys, but if you just look up Leatherman Wave or click the link below, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. There's certain things you can kind of cheap out on, and there's certain things that you're going to want to spend money on. A multi-tool is one of those things that I would highly recommend you spend some extra money on. You will use it a million times over. And then the last thing I keep on my person, both at the station and in my bunker gear, is my pocket knife. This is a Kershaw Blur. I love this thing. This is the best pocket knife, and I've had a million pocket knives that I've ever had. I think you can get it anywhere. I'll link it in the description below as well. I think you can get it anywhere between $60 and $70 depending on where you go. It's a good enough knife. It's a quality knife that you don't have to worry about it hurting you or breaking or falling apart on you while you need it. It has a really quick open just with your thumb. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit heavier. I like bigger, heavier knives. Yeah, I could not recommend this enough. And it's not so expensive so that if you lose it or God forbid you do break it or something happens to it, it's going to be the end of the world. I know there's a lot of knife nerds out there that really love knives, and you know, knives can get ridiculously expensive. Me personally, I would never carry a $200, $300 knife on my stuff or on my person or on my gear, just because if I lose it, I'm going to be pretty upset. I mean, I'm not going to be excited if I lose this, but it's not the end of the world if you lose 60 bucks over a knife. So could not recommend this knife highly enough. And yeah, it's a good one. So on to my person. I am not the type of person, again, I am a paramedic as well as a firefighter. I know some paramedics like to load up on stuff. I don't. That's what you have an ambulance for. It's full of equipment and gear. I try to get people out of the house as soon as I can and into the ambulance as quickly as possible, but everybody's a little different. So here's just the basic stuff I carry on my person while I'm at the station and while I'm working. So while I'm at the station, I carry that knife, but in my day-to-day, I carry this other tiny little Kershaw knife. Now this one is called a Kershaw Shuffle. This thing has been awesome. I think I've had it for 5 or 6 years. The Kershaw Shuffle is, I think I got it for like $17 or $18. It's really cheap. Got maybe like a 2-inch blade. It's been used a million times for a million different things. Highly recommend it. It's small, it's lightweight. Just throw it in your pocket and go from there. Wallet, obviously, got to carry your stuff. Phone, obviously. Pen, always have a pen with you, especially while you're working. I can't tell you how many times I've needed to write something down or thought of something and didn't want to forget it. Just have a pen. It's always useful, especially when you're a rookie and you're a new person. Always carry a pen on your person. Watch. Now, if you do any sort of EMS, you have to have a watch. Now, this is a G-Shock GA100, I think is what it's called. I've had this thing for 7 years now, and I have never once had an issue with it. I've never changed the battery. I have beaten the crap out of this thing, and it's never had an issue. I love this thing. It's not going to win any awards for being beautiful or being the best watch ever, but this thing will take a beating, and it will last a long time, and I have still never had an issue with the band, never had an issue with the battery, nothing else like that. My only complaint is it's a little bit difficult to read just because some of the numbers are so small. But other than that, awesome watch. Always, 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 always wear one if you're working. I know everybody says, well, I got a phone in my pocket. That's great. But if you have a bunch of stuff on your hands, you probably don't want to be sticking it in your pocket and grabbing your phone. Always wear a watch. Keys, that's kind of self-explanatory. And then last thing, get yourself some gum or some mints. And I know this might sound like kind of a joke, but I don't mean for it to. Bad breath guy is a terrible guy to be around. Brush your teeth, get some mints, get some gum. When you're walking around just torching everybody with your bad breath, you're awful to be around. So I always make sure I carry these on my person at all times. So that's really it. I'm kind of a minimalist. I don't like to carry around a bunch of stuff. I don't like to carry around a bunch of fancy stuff and tools and pliers and this and that. It weighs me down. I don't like it. I'm uncomfortable with it. So, but everybody's different. Let me know what you guys carry in your day-to-day. What do you guys carry in your bunker gear? How do you have your thing set up? Like I said, it's very personal. Everybody's different. Some people like more, some people like less. Let me know what you use. If you like this video and you found it helpful, click the thumbs up. I appreciate it. It tells me you like the content I'm making, and I'll keep making more. So, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.